The first camera phone was introduced way back in the 2000s. Can you imagine? 22 years back. And at that time, no one had imagined that technology would evolve to the point that we would be doing almost near professional photography with our smartphones. But sometimes we all feel that we are missing out on capturing a moment because we don't have a proper camera with us, right? But with the launch of smartphones, you always have a camera with you. Smartphones are excellent devices because they give you the freedom to experiment and explore your own creativity, whether you're an amateur photographer, a hobbyist, or a pro. And smartphone photography, very popular right now. I mean, more people use their phones for photography than almost anything else. However, there's still a stigma around the photos taken through a smartphone, that they're not of that great quality, that they don't match the level of high-end cameras, mirrorless cameras, DSLR. But with the help of computational photography and other technological advancements, smartphone cameras are now producing images that can be compared to those taken on very high-end cameras also. Yet, photographs taken with professional equipment play a huge role in how you work and how you're perceived as a photographer. But there are some people who are slowly breaking this mindset. Today we meet one such person, Prashant Swaminathan, a photographer who uses his smartphone. He's also won multiple awards for his photography from a smartphone.
Stunning pictures, all captured by smartphones over the years. It was in 2012, as a college student, Prashant took to photography using smartphones. Mobiles then, he says, had cameras with just basic features. But the convenience of these devices and the gradual improvement in capabilities of smartphones and their cameras helped him to hone his skills and pursue his hobby with passion for a decade.
Started exploring different genres of photography. Parallelly, I started using different devices to pursue photography, like DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. But time smartphones have become really smart, too smart that the bridge between the DSLRs and the smartphone cameras are the gap is closing by. So if you take any photographer's feed or gallery, or my gallery too, it is very difficult for someone to identify the difference between a picture shot using a professional DSLR or using a mobile camera. So smartphones have become that great. The technical capabilities are really brilliant these days.
Prashant says the sprawling green Madras Christian College where he studied drew him to photography. But the convenience of smartphones has got him stuck to this well for over a decade. As we accompany him for a photo walk along Chennai's marina, the convenience quotient of smartphone cameras he loves is evident. In a jiffy, he clicks all his way to capture the monuments, landmarks, and the landscape. He believes it's just a matter of time smartphones will be recognized as professional photographic equipment. Prashant now uses OnePlus Nord. The capability, he says, is unimaginably advanced from where he began to dabble with smartphones to shoot pictures 10 years ago. His photography is turning many heads literally. He won the Special Mention National Award by Government of India for his documentation of the annual Kuvagam Festival by transgenders. He was also chosen for the National Geographic Portrait Prize by the Indian Photo Festival. It's the incredible computational photography he loves most.
So dynamic range is one important part in photography, be it any device, mobile phone or DSLRs. Dynamic range is very important. It doesn't matter if you shoot in the twilight or if you shoot in full blown up sun. The dynamic range includes the contrast of the colors, the contrast of the whole composition and the whole imagery in general. So the default OnePlus lenses, the shutter speed value or the overall aperture value, it's really good for anyone to just go in the streets and shoot one nice moment. It is one go-to camera. It has artificial intelligence capabilities. No smartphone has just one single lens, it has multiple lenses. What it does is it is computational photography. So the phone decides for us before we even see the image. It all happens in microseconds. So it does computational photography, helps us get the refined image, and we work with that image. We edit it or we take it to the next level.
It was this professional photographer Ashok Saravanan who taught him photography. However, Prashant still loves to reach out to his smartphone to capture moments. Is there a stigma attached to smartphone photography against professional DSLR cameras? Not really. The lines are getting blurred, argues Prashant.
When pictures are taken with high-end cameras and DSLRs, they can be blown up and they can be printed on coffee table books or blown up on billboards. With smartphones, it is not really possible right now, but in the coming years, not like 10 or 20 years, in 3 or 4 years, it is possible. The gap is getting really short, and one day smartphone photographers will be considered professional. There will be no difference. You are a photographer, you have the sense and you have the aesthetics, you have shot it, that's it.
It's a smartphone generation that's making its life around handheld devices, from education to healthcare. And can photography be left out? While the DSLR versus smartphone cameras debate will continue, certainly smartphones are giving a tough fight. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find It TV.
All right, time to actually meet this magical genius. So tell me, how did you start photography with your phone? What made you decide to use a phone rather than carry on like most people do with high-end cameras?
There are many reasons that pushed me into smartphone photography. So when I started photography, the only device that was accessible to me was one smartphone camera. And with photography, the best moments in photography happen during those moments where we least expect it, and they happen in places where we least expect it. It is not really possible to take a DSLR and travel wherever we go, but with a smartphone we can easily do it. So that's one primary reason.
And how do you think your smartphone is ahead of the curve? How's that helped you to reach where you are?
It's ahead of the curve because it's basically a computer that has a camera. The computational power of a smartphone is 1,000 times more than a professional camera. A professional camera is designed only to take pictures, but this is one supercomputer that also takes pictures. So the perspective is totally different. The dynamic range is really good, and the artificial intelligence has come into play. So with all these factors, the smartphone photography has really democratized photography as an art form for all of us.
Great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Time now to go and talk to Navneet Nakra of OnePlus, a person who really gets the entire smartphone market. Navneet, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Rajiv. It's wonderful to be back here.
Now, Navneet, OnePlus is known for providing excellent camera quality. Can you tell us what are the main highlighting features in a OnePlus phone?
As a brand, we understand that every user is different. OnePlus smartphones across categories are equipped with a versatile camera setup. Our hardware and software optimizations ensure that Prashant in 2012 and the Prashant in 2022 both are empowered with the ability to grow as photographers across various avenues, be it photography or videography. From a hardware perspective, our smartphones come equipped with customized exclusive lenses that help users capture more light and sharper details with every shot, and innovations such as the portrait mode, nightscape mode, and 4K 120 frames per second recording encourage our users to get more out of the camera experience than to just point and shoot, which users such as Prashant have made the most of.
Navneet, that's fascinating. But tell me, when OnePlus and Qualcomm were associating for this particular product, could you both have thought of the possibility of someone like Prashant using your products and taking out absolute magic?
That's a great question. Prashant is a wonderful representative of the OnePlus community. Our long-standing collaboration with Qualcomm has always centered around combining expertise and technologies to provide great experiences which help our users explore and hone their talents. For a user like Prashant, who loves to chronicle the streets of India, it brings me a lot of joy to hear that our smartphones provide the dynamic range required to capture the nuances of everyday life in the country as colorful as ours.
Thank you, Navneet. Thank you so much. As always, a complete pleasure talking to you. Snapdragon is calling all the Cell Guru fans to join their global community called Snapdragon Insiders. This gives you access to the latest scoop on Snapdragon tech, a chance to connect with the experts behind the scenes, premium experiences, exclusive contests, and so much more. Look, I've been telling you this for a while now. I'm a Snapdragon Insider, and you can become one too by simply following Snapdragon on Twitter or on Instagram there. Their handles are given right here. Also, give yourself a chance to win a smartphone by participating in the NDTV Snapdragon contest at ndtv.com/unleash your dreams.